Hello everyone, thanks for joining. And in this stream, we're going to, I think we're going to finish almost, we're going to advance um, the profile. Adding the user is already been done. Editing, in this case, updating the current user. We don't have implemented yet the delete. Well, we're going to talk about the pagination, but pagination is already been done. In this case, as you can see, we have the total users, the page, and things like that. So in this case, pagination, but next thing, what we're going to do is that we're going to implement the, in this case, the toast notification. Okay, so this is the current updated code. So which have the user list, and as you can see, this is the reactive. In this case, if I come and maybe I just want to load, let's say maybe 2 users, and then I'm going to update here. In this case, load only instead of 10, just 2 users. And we have 2 users. In this case, we got the pagination enabled, and go next. In this case, as you can see, we go to the next user, and there we go. So this way we have the pagination. So I'm going to leave it to 10 users in this case, because maybe after 10 users, you got the pagination. Okay, this is the pattern in this case, and we have search in this case. And as you can see, there is no page reload in this, because when we search, in this case, this is going to do a single search to the server, and then it's going to get the data. In this case, let's say 23, and as you can see, it have come back with the information, and there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete, and I got the information here. So this way we're going to start. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to implement the profile. So what I'm going to do is that in components, in dashboard, in this case user, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create profile.php, which I think this should be in the dashboard, because it's specific for this profile, and the profile live in the dashboard. So I'm going to leave in profile in dashboard row in this case. So what next I'm going to do is that I'm going to create copy a dialog in this case. So I'm going to go to Prisma documentation. So let's go Prisma PHP now. So go to docs, and then what I'm going to do, no, it's PHP XUI. This is the correct. So I'm going to go to get the dialog component in this case, the dialog component. There we go. I need this one. So I'm going to, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Let's go, paste, and then I'm going to start using this component. So I'm going to come to the dashboard, in this case, dashboard header. And as you can see, dashboard header already have the a dialog in this case. So I think this have implemented the drop down component. So I'm going to import the component here, PHP import component, and I'm going to render in this case. But in this case, I'm going to get into components, yes, profile. So there we go. In this case, we already have imported the together, and let's see, I'm going to save, and there we go. We have the open dialog, and now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to adjust everything what's needed. So first thing first, I'm going to make a single parent tag element, and which I'm going to get the information. So when I open, in this case, in this drop down profile, when I click, so I'm click in this case, and click. When I click, I want to open the dialog, no? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cons and create, in this case, open profile dialog. So I think I'm going to do that instead of calling just profile, I'm going to say profile dialog. It's important that we this thing open, and there we go. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pass now the dependencies. Open, in this case, it's going to be reactive. Yes, reactive. So now you can do everything so easy. In this case, I'm just going to copy in this case and set it to true. And now we have open dialog, and when I click in this case to profile, this should open the, in this case, the open dialog too. That's the idea in this case. So let's see, open profile. I think we need a button in this case. Let's see what's up. Handle log off. Okay, it's not opening because we don't have passed it, in this case, the open information in this case. So we're going to pass this, the CM dependency, and open dialog. Now we're going to test it. Okay, come on back, open dialog, and now profile, open dialog. Nice. There we go. Now we have completed. So I'm going to remove this because I don't need the trigger, in this case the open, because I just need to open from here and close it. Okay, next thing, what I want is to prevent, in this case, close files in this case. So when I click outside, I don't want the dialog close by itself until I click close or cancel in this case. That's the way I want it. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start implementing the update in this case. So this is the same idea of implementing the users create update dialog in this case, but this is specific just for uh, for update the user. So what we're going to do is that we're going to in this profile we're going to create a function which is going to update profile. So we're going to update the profile, but we're going to see that what we have in our schema. So we have name and email in this case. So we're going to update just the name and email, and if we want, maybe in next video we're going to implement the password too. In this case, we want to update our password, no? So let's implement the password. So let's say name, and this is going to be email in this case. So I'm going to remove this thing, name, email, and this is going to be password. Yes, yes, yes. Now, there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cancel this. And now we have our profile. So if we leave blank means it's not going to update. So in place folder, place folder, um, leave blank, use the correct. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get the information. But remember, as you can see, I'm using the single parent tag. So in this case, I'm going to create a async function in this case, async function, and then submit, and then this is going to be event. I'm going to remove all this, and this is the event default, and transform data, cons data. Yes, there we go. So what we're going to do is that we're going to start a name email, name password. Okay, so let's console log this, console log the data. And so now what we're going to do is that we're going to inspect, see what we get. Okay, so when we go to profile, we open this dialog and we're going to save changes. Okay, it's reloading because we aren't handling the form submission, and submit event. Easy as this. There we go. We have Pedro example, Pedro. All right, there we go. So now what we're going to do is that in this case, we are not going to set the value. We are not going to set the value because and the password we need to pass that say that auto complete. We're going to have new password. It's going to be new. So this way the browser navigation leave blank to use the current password. So name in this case I'm going to fill, save, and there we go. We have this information. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to see that if we have the information, we're going to send it and to update. So now we're going to get the name. We're going to get from validator from pp, in this case pp, which is going to be string, and data name, and there we go. So now we're going to get the email, validator email and password. So we're going to validate name and email. So if name let's validate direct from, let's say if not name, in this case not name, and not email, then we're going to return success, in this case success false, and is going to be the message. So there we go. In this case, name or email are required. So I'm going to display the message here. In this case, we have to have a p tag. Let's say cons request message, and then so request message that um, plus text to if. There we go. So now, if let's say we don't send the name and the email, we're going to prevent the information to get get registered. So now what we're going to do is that we want to create accounts response, and we want to await pp function with the profile. There is no method. So what we're going to do is that we're going to pass the data, in this case, the data what we are sending. And then let's console log. Okay, there we go. Okay. So now, profile, save changes. We have information. And let's see what we get. Um, and so log the response. And remember, we aren't exposing this. So expose and require out true, because only register user is going to know name or email is required. Easy as that. Because we can leave password of this information. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to import create that information. So okay, so what we're going to do is that first we're going to set, let's say, data, in this case, name, email. Then what we're going to do is that we're going to import Prisma from the library, Prisma, and then Prisma. So if password, Prisma, see, get instance, get user. Okay, so we're going to import, in this case, use leave out. We can get the user information. In this case, let's say if everything okay, everything correct, so we're going to get the user information. So let's say user ID, going to get from the instance, get payload, and then the user ID, in this case. So there we go, user ID. And now let's see. Yes, I think we could go now. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to return success true and the user information. So if we get success true, we want to notify to the user, in this case, that the profile was updated. For this, I'm going to use this toast notification. So I'm going to come and search for toast. So, and there we go. You just click. Open, close, and you see your message. That's all. In this case, I'm going to install this, easy as this. Copy paste. And now the implementation of the tools is very easy in this case. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to copy this section because it's going to be direct paste. Then import the tools notification. In this case, I'm going to create commons. Okay. There we go. So what I'm going to do is, yes, just I think that is quite correct. So set open, set those, and we got the description in this case. So let's save this in this case. I'm just going to change the user in this case, John to John 2, but remember we need the user information. So let's, there we go. We have the toes in this case. Okay. And the open files, we're going to pass the toes. Let's say show in this case. Let's put show files. And so here show true. Because that is the issue which it's happening in this case. So when we reload, as you can see, there is no name. And now we can come to the dashboard in this case, in the index, I imagine, in the index, where is the tools, layout, context, glass, tools. There we go. So there is no tools anymore in this case. Okay, complete. So now we open and we're going to set the current username and the email, but the password we are not going to set it. So now we're going to come and we're going to get the user information from here in this case. So we're going to set user and our get instant, get payload. We have the user information. So in this case, we have the value and we have our user and then the name. And now in email, we have this. But password, we are not going to set it. So now when we come with profile, we have John, we have the email. If we want change the email, which is, I think is not correct to changing the email, but for now, we're going to leave it as is. So I'm going to say that we're going to put John 2 and save changes, no? Easy as this. So what we're going to do is that we're going to open here in this case in the network. We are not going to change the password. So there we go. In this case, remember the password is this, which is going to set the password default. So save changes. Profile updated successfully. In this case, we have successful. There we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this. And now let's log out. We have John in this case. So this, and now we have John too. There we go. We have updated the profile correctly. So let's fix some leggy things in this case. We have set open profile. In this case, we're going to set to files. That's all it is. Okay. So we have John 2. In this case, we want to have John updated and save changes. And profile updated successfully. So when we log out in this case and then log in again, we have our profile name John updated. So now I'm going to fix this John and save changes. There we go. So now we're going to log out, log in again, and we have profile John cancel. Okay. As you can see, profile task, it's completed. So you just click profile, update your name, email if it's needed. In this case, normally in profile, sometimes we don't want to update the email, but I put the update email in this case because it's dashboard, it's starter. You can modify um, however you want to implement. In this case, I'm not going to update the password, but we can leave blank to use the current password. So if you pass, in this case, any other password, it's going to update because as you can see, in this case, we are updating directly. In this case, if there a password, in this case, password, so we're going to update the password. Easy as that. Why we're going to return the user? I think we don't need to return the user, no? So we're just going to return success. Why we are going to be omitting now completed. So just to test, final test, in this case, we're going to update profile, OP, save changes, log out, logged in, and OP profile. Okay, everything's working as expected. Log out, logged in, fit. Okay, next, let's go to users. In this case, how I mentioned before, we're going to implement the delete in this case. So what we're going to do is that we're going to come in this case in dialog, alert dialog. We're going to ask before deleting the record. So we're going to absolutely sure or things like that. The message, it's customizable, so you're going to custom your message in this case because the dashboard it starter kit. So we're going to cancel. In this case, I need the code, so I'm going to copy in this case. So I'm going to come to users in this case and create the dialog which it belong to users row in this case. So I'm going to copy paste, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to import that in. So I'm going to import after. I'm going to duplicate this and just update this, delete dialog, and there we go. So now, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, it's correct. The EA, it's correct in this case. So alert dialog, it's not installed. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to install this instead of those. Just install the alert dialog, and there we go. So show dialog, we have, are you absolutely? Yes. Cancel, continue, it's going to delete. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm going to add the support for open the dialog with when I click, in this case, when I click the delete dialog. So when I click delete, it's going to open, same like open show the dialog. So profile dialog go away because you have you already done. So what I'm going to do is the same idea. I'm going to create a parent tag, same like React does in this case. So I'm going to create script tag for this. So I'm going to async function delete user. I'm just going to remove this, and I'm going to pass the open in this case, the same groups that I pass open dialog in this case. So as the open dialog, and there we go. So now the good thing is that when we receive this, we're going to receive the selected user information and the users, so we can reactively not only remove from the database, but we can reactively remove from the um, list, from this current list in this case, and there will no other request needed because it's going to be in the same request. So the good part of Pulse Point is that we just going to declare, in this case, open this. Let's save this. So now we are open the dialog, and then when we click here, we now open the alert dialog. So we're going to remove this in this case. So alert dialog, go away, go back. And now when we click to continue, we want to delete the current user. So before deleting our current user, let's confirm that, let's make some cleanup here because I have console logs here, console log here, which there is no need to have. So I'm going to have, we are not going to get the user information from there. So what we're going to do is on click, we're going to call delete user function. Yes. So console log deleting selected user. So yes, selected user, it's coming from here, the props. So let's go. And now let's inspect, go to console log, and now we want to try to delete. We need to confirm that in this case, deleting, let's say, if you want to delete your current or yourself, you can't do that. So we're going to validate that, but before we validating that, we're going to try to delete this one, the test in this case. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to click cancel. As you can see, there is no information in the log, but when I click continue, this should trigger, in this case, show the current user to delete. So the current user to delete is the test234. So let's confirm that the name is test234. Okay, so I'm going to clean up, and let's say actually that name is going to be deleted. Now when I click this and continue, and the name is correct, the information which we are getting in our dialog, it's correct. So now what we need is that we're going to prevent or try to prevent deleting ourselves. No? So let's do this. So first, so we're going to delete any user just, without restriction. Use leave Prisma and then Prisma. And now what we're going to, we already import our database. So we're going to expose, but we need that only how require expose. We are not importing, so the attribute expose, so uh, require out delete user, and there we go. Let's say data user. Okay, so now what we're going to do is that, oof, damn, yes. Okay, but we need to confirm that the user ID exists, no? So no, we need to validate if the user ID exists in this case. So we're going to import the validator in this case, because always validate CUID. So data in this case, let's pass no if they not send it, because we were testing, confirming if not user ID, invalid user ID. So now if it's valid, we're going to delete. So this is okay. Now we're going to get the current user information. So let's confirm that the user ID aren't the current logged in user. If it's so, we're going to send a message and we're not going to delete. So let's say the user ID is valid. So we're going to get user from, in this case, out, get instance, and we're going to get the payload. So now if user ID is return, you cannot delete your own account. Yes, because I think it makes sense, no? You cannot delete yourself because maybe yes. Anyway, okay. So we're going to try to delete ourselves too in this case. So, but if everything goes as expected, now we're going to implement the toes. So I'm going to copy this and paste this, and now I need this those information. So show, there we go. I think we are good to go now. No. Okay, there we go. That's it. Okay, now we're going to try to delete this test 23. Click and let's go to network, see what. Continue. User deleted successfully, and we have our toast notification, and we have success true, which is good. Okay, now if I refresh, the user goes away, which is correct. No, but as you can see, we aren't refreshing the list. So now we're going to refresh the set users in this case. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go if response is success. So we're going to set users and do that. So now, Ashley, goodbye. There we go. We remove and we have single request, in this case, success true, and we have the message. There we go. That's all we need for to delete our user. In this case, I'm going to set this, save changes, and now I'm going to refresh. So we have a new user in this case. It's when I do the fake filler, it's searching. It's searching. So that's why the list goes away in this case. Okay, next, what we're going to do is that now we have complete information about deleting user, updating user. In this case, you can just come and let's try to delete this one because it's our information. So what I'm going to do is this information, I'm going to try to delete, continue, refresh. Nope. As you can see, there is no delete in this case. So what we're going to do is that why success false. So if there is no else, okay, no, now we're going to do is not error, it's going to be the message. Let's put the message here. Okay, so now instead of message, okay, now let's try to delete on our account, and you cannot delete your own account. Good. Okay, so close. Okay, so now I think this information, this section, it's not required. So I was thinking to remove, but I'm going to leave it as is because when you want, you can delete it because it's starter kit, no? So we have completed now. Yes, now the dashboard starter kit. You have a solid information of creating a crude, easy, and very efficient and performant way, because as you can see, when we reload or when we request like information, getting the user information or getting the current information, you are not making requests to the backend, which is very good. Like I said, the difference between another framework is make the request to the backend and get the user information. So in this case, when I click, as you can see, there is no backend request until you save the information. So let's say I'm going to update this information, and there we go. We update the user information and we update in front end, in backend sync. Okay, so we have our pagination, our logo, our profile, our dashboard information. So you can update this information as you want. Maybe in next video, I'm going to beautify everything. The dashboard in this case, maybe beautify this and it and remove what is not needed. But for now, we have accomplished what we come from. The CRUD operation for user and create the profile. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to save this, and remember you have the repo in this case. You just go to in this case Prisma PHP documentation. Let's go, baby. Okay, so you want to go to the starter kit section, and dashboard starter kit, and everything it's going to work. In this case, you just copy this and you start working. So because it's going to update everything. Okay, now we are good to go. So if there are any questions, you can comment below or you can chat. We can you can ask. Let's see if I can respond to your question. So before we enter in another topic, if there are any question, yours. Anyone? Anybody? Okay, so now what we're going to do is that we're going to, so the repo is already online. You can go to the repo and start searching for the repo and clone it and see what about Prisma PHP and the user's information in this case. So now let's move forward to what is upcoming in Prisma PHP version 5. What's in this case, remember we are in the IA era, in artificial intelligence era. So we are preparing Prisma PHP for the version 5 to be completely almost for, let's say, that can be compatible to EF to integrate any kind of Prisma PHP feature. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you just a simple small example npm run dev. So this way you can vibe code everything you want, same like when you are doing with React or you are doing with other framework, in this case, other popular frameworks. So what I'm going to do is that I am having this my current test information. So as you can see, I already have this information, in this case, upload files, and there we go. We can upload files, dashboard, and upload files, and I got the files information, things like that. So this is made by artificial intelligence just for testing purpose. But now what we need is to test if IA have the ability to create complete CRUD operation without we touching any line of code, because that is the current trend now. So what we have currently is that we have a user model, in this case, but we're going to create a to-do model. We're going to tell IA to create the role, to create everything from scratch. So what we're going to do is that we're going to save this information and hope everything's work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start directly. This is just a Prisma PHP version 5 package, in this case, which it's going to start working. So we have the agents, in this case. These agents have everything what artificial intelligence needs to vibe code complete Prisma PHP information. So in this case, the agent is going to tell what to do and how to do, what is the pattern and how to follow. So what I'm going to do is that create to do model and row, then create root operation using pulse point. So as you can see, it's quite complex. I'm going to move. Oi. Oh my God. Okay. Let's see what. Okay, I think this and this. Oi. Yes, and the image. Let's see the image. This is the image. Okay. Now I'm going to move this away. Still there. Okay. Now, okay, I want you to see that the prompt what I'm telling to IA to do. There is a simple task: create to-do model and route, then create CRUD operation using pulse point. So as you can see, this prompt is quite generic, and it's having a three tasks in this case. It's going to create the to-do model, and then it's going to create the row, and then it's going to create the CRUD operation using pulse point. So this is almost three tasks. So we're going to wait until it's finished and see what's up. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Because this is the future. We are not going to be touching so much line of code as before. So now artificial intelligence is going to start working on the request, and as you can see, it start analyzing everything what it's need. There we go. It start evaluating. I hope it start work. Yes, it's reading the docs. Let's see. What about? There you go. Yes, read the get started docs. So it's going to start now analyzing everything what it needs. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm very confident that artificial intelligence is going to reach very close what I have request. So we're going to see what it's updating in this case. So yes, it start it's starting to reading the not only the documentation but it's reading the reference online too. In this case, as you can see, it's analyzing the to do the users files because I asked for to do, not users. So it's starting to doing everything what is needed, so executing commands, things like that. So um it's need to execute, I think, two commands in this case to get through. The npxpp generate, which is going to generate the models in this case if you the schema, no? So let's see what's up. There we go. Okay, it start analyzing the file list in this case. I think it's confirming that the file of to-do row in this case exists, and maybe it's confirming that it's not exist, so it's going to start creating. So there we go. It start now. It's updating the schema Prisma. Yes, sir. So yes, I think he have a good plan now because I confirm that it's starting to analyze the Prisma schema. So yes, there you go. Let's see what's up. Okay. And the next thing is that, as you can see, I'm using ChatGPT 5.4 medium. I'm not using a very special or advanced um, artificial. I was using the 5 point mini in this case. Yes, it's update the schema. There we go. We have the to do. Let's keep. And now it's create the to do's in this case index. Yes. Okay, I think he has some error validation in this case. Let's see what's up. Allow. There you go. It's going, it's doing its job. To be sincere, it's doing its job because as you can see, it currently just execute the npx ppo generate in this case. So it's generate the to-dos list in this case, as you can see. Now it's analyzing the rules, so it's going to import the rules in this case. Let's see the rules. Okay, I think he realized that there is no validation. Okay, there we go. We keep, in this case, I'm going to keep everything because it's doing from scratch. Okay, nice. I think he have good understanding about Prisma PHP now. So I'm curious about seeing the to do in this case, to do's. to-dos. We have to-dos row. Okay. So let's see, it's still processing some information, but I think we can go to view. So to-dos. Yes. Yes. As you can see, pulse point crew to-dos, create, edit, complete, everything. And we're going to see what about in this case. So just we're going to see, let's say test, 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 title in this case, create to do. Let's see what's up. Yes. As you can see, it's it was very complicated task, but as you can see, the information gets very good in this case. Let's say edit, and we have this title updated. So we're going to save in this case. Yes. Mark as done. Okay. Let's delete. Okay, that is Prisma PHP version 5, version 5 content. So as you can see, I just make a prompt in this case, and it followed guide and execute everything. There any question before closing the stream? Okay. Thanks for joining, and see you in the next video.